as a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
Welcome. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. I am Laura Torres, your host for this episode of Veterans Radio Show. And in the back, we have Myke Woods. And in the background, also, we have our CEO and founder, Joe Molina. And today on this episode 5, we have Communities in Action. We have the pleasure of having 2 amazing guests from our local community in the South Cal area. Munroe, membership and development from the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce, as well as Scott Agjanian, Deputy Director of Director Services in Economic Development for the City of Murrieta. And so with that, I would like to introduce our guests, as well as Joe Molina, to join me and open it up for them to come on over and share with us about a little bit more about what's going on in our local community. It's in action. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Joe?
Great. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Laura, and thank you, Scott and Myke, for coming out to the show this afternoon. It's always been a pleasure working with you guys, and whether we are doing mixers or we are doing entrepreneurship classes, the City of Murrieta and the Murrieta Chamber of Commerce have always been an extremely supporter of the veteran community. And so we wanted to make sure that you guys will come on board and share with our veteran community what things are happening, especially now that we're getting ready to be back in business and what we call, reopening for business, getting back on business, and see what resources, what type of assistance we can provide to the veteran community. So I just wanted to quickly give you a quick welcome and thank you very much for being so supportive of our veteran community and as strong supporters for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Laura, I'll give this back to you, and please just have fun.
Thank you, Joe. And just in a little bit, we'll get into a little bit more of what the Chamber is doing, as well as the City of Murrieta is doing to support the military community. But I wanted to give you a chance for you gentlemen to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you are connected to our Veteran Chamber of Commerce, or better yet, our military community.
So,
and I'll start with you. Yeah, go ahead, Myke with the Y.
So as Scott likes to say, I'm Myke Munroe, or Myke with a Y for some reason. I am your membership and business development representative for the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce. I met Joe and was associated with and started really digging in with the veteran community here, not only through the Veterans Business Action Committee that meets at the Murrieta Innovation Center once a month, but I just tend to gravitate towards veteran business and just veterans in general. It's kind of a crazy thing that has always just been a part of my life. So through the Veterans Business Action Committee, I met Joe and got a really good feel for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. And frankly, you guys are doing such wonderful things for the veteran community, especially in here, Southwest Riverside County, veterans actually make up 7% of the population, which is a huge number. And I think that's a big part of the proximity to all the bases that are out here. So that's a quick synopsis of how I got involved with the Veterans Chamber. But ultimately, it's like they say, some gave some gave all. And I want to give all I can to make sure that I can be the best champion for veteran business. So.
And we appreciate you being with us and part of our chamber and part of our network for our small businesses. So thank you so much for that. What about you, Scott? How are you connected? And tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Hey, Laura. So my name is Scott Agjanian. I'm from the City of Murrieta. I work in economic development. One of the things that we do in economic development is we try to help existing businesses either stay here in the community, but also grow here in the community. And we couldn't have better partners than the Chambers of Commerce that we're with today. The Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce is absolutely second to none in chamber world. They are the greatest, largest, strongest chamber I have ever seen from a local community chamber of commerce to assist small business. And then you've got the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, which you guys really specialize on focusing on veteran needs. And as Myke so aptly put it, we have a lot of veteran needs here. There's a lot of veterans in this community who, after serving time and working out at Camp Pendleton or working in the region, come here and want to open a business or get into entrepreneurship and start their next career. And we're so fortunate to have a Veterans Chamber of Commerce that's here to assist them. We've had some great programs with you guys. Our incubator that we use to start businesses is called the Murrieta Innovation Center. And we're fortunate enough to have partners in the Murrieta Innovation Center that focus just on veteran needs, like the Veteran Business Action Community, the Veteran Business Action Committee and the Valley Resource Center. So we do a lot of work in the veteran space, just trying to make sure that they have all the tools and resources they could possibly need, but nobody does it better than the Chamber. So everyone out there, if you have not joined a Chamber of Commerce, join a Chamber of Commerce, get involved. The Veterans Chamber, I think, is free. They just want to help you. Never pass up a free chamber that wants to help you. And the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce is a fantastic deal. They're almost free, and the value that they give is crazy. So get involved in your community, be a community steward, and give back to the next generation of veterans that want to start their businesses.
That's right. And we appreciate your leadership as well, and your partnership and the opportunity to collaborate with you, because like you mentioned, we bring in both areas of support. You bring in the city and the local connections, and then we bring in the veteran community, and then it's a win-win for everyone, right? Now, in regards to current services, and to highlight a little bit about what you have to bring in, these have been very uncertain times, and not just for the veteran community, for everyone in our current area. So Scott, I'm going to start with you and ask you, what are some of the current services available as we continue to transition into this COVID-19 time span?
So COVID-19 has kind of changed the direction of what everyone was doing, right? If you remember a couple months ago, we had a booming economy. We had new business growth that had been starting at a rate never before seen. We were really starting to form our own regional economy here, where people are starting to have the opportunity to live here, but have a full, high-paying job here that would allow them to, raise a family in this community. And so things were really on the right track. And then check COVID, and the pandemic caused stay-at-home orders, business closures, and right now, we're seeing nobody's struggling more than small businesses. So the role that we have as a city really changed from one of general support services and helping people get through entitlement processes and open new businesses to one of being a resource provider and trying to make sure that people have information about what the newest services are. And the services are changing constantly. One thing I'll note is, please check out the City of Murrieta webpage. We have a COVID response page to it, and there's a business COVID response page to it under economic development. You will find the most up-to-date information on all the services out there. But as you know, there's been no shortage of different funding sources and assistance programs out there to help small businesses. Everything from pandemic unemployment insurance, which allows people to get unemployment insurance even if they weren't working a traditional job, even if they were a business owner or a gig worker. You have the opportunity to go out there and get funding that will help you right now just for a stable source of income. So please, if you have not filled out the application for pandemic unemployment insurance assistance, PUA, it is on the EDD website page. Make sure you go on there and do that. Everything from SBA loans like the EIDL program and the PPP, the Payroll Protection Program for businesses that want to keep their employees. All of these programs are out there, and as they come, we are very quick to make sure we share them with the community. But there's also some additional local resources. You know, localism is one of the big things you hear being talked about right now. It's mentioned by our governor just about every single day. But you're finding a lot of local resources out there. City of Murrieta businesses qualify for a county loan program, which is run by Riverside County and AMPAC. The flyer for that will be available on my webpage. There's two programs. One is a forgivable loan, which means you can get a grant for up to $15,000. And the second one is a loan for $15,000 to $30,000. These are local programs to try to keep businesses stabilized right now during this time. So while everything did kind of shift, the goal hasn't shifted. The goal is to help maintain existing businesses, keep them existing, and help businesses that are finding opportunity during this time to grow and flourish. So it is all about business service. And today that has a lot to do with just providing information.
And I appreciate all of that. And that's a great list of resources and activities, and list of,
Thank you. Hey, Laura, your mic went muted, but Scott, I'm also working with your mic too. So if there's if you need to, go ahead and go ahead and come back in with your laptop. But if not, we'll work with it and we'll go from there. But back to you, Laura.
Okay, sorry about that. We were getting interrupted. Myke with a Myke. What I was saying is, in regards to the local chamber in the South Gulf area and Riverside, what is your chamber offering in support for small businesses to get back on track as we transition through these COVID-19 experiences?
And it's been just a crazy journey since March, and it's ever changing. So I feel like every week we're doing something different to help small business, medium business, and even big business get back to business as quick as possible. So initially, as this whole thing hit, our big goal was to, especially in the restaurant community, compile the kind of services that they were offering, because restaurant and entertainment were hit first and hardest. And tried to get that message out there. And I'm pleased to tell you that it had almost 150,000 hits just in the first couple of days, because the community was really looking for those places to go and eat. And it's really a special community here in Southwest Riverside County. We tend to really think it as a tribe and really come out and help each other in these times of crises. So that was one of the first things that we did. And then as we moved into the federal government, especially having these programs like the PPP and the SBA's EIDL loans, there was a lot of questions that surrounded that. So still, for those folks that are looking into those programs, or especially the local programs that the county has put together, we've been helping local business owners, whether veteran or regular business owners, navigate some of the complexities of those programs there. But as of right now, and Scott and I actually are working really hard on this. One of the coolest things that I think that we're doing to bring business back to business is we have these back to biz kits that we're working with, and we partnered with a slew of local businesses, which I think again is a testament to the community that we live in. That is almost like a utopia in the sense that people actually come together and get the job done. It's amazing. So we have like graphics that have been donated by Signs by Tomorrow, as well as banners from R&R Business Solutions out of Menifee. Sherry over at Fast Signs are doing floor decals for physical distancing. For physical distancing there. The city of Murrieta has provided a bunch of information as well as bags. Rotary Club as well as the school district have put together these 3D printed face shields. They're amazing. Their engineering department at Murrieta Valley High School built these 3D printed face shields. So the idea is that we have these bags that because the attestation was approved and a lot of these, especially restaurants, are going back to business, we're physically bumping into these places. Hey, here's your back to business bag. These are all things that you need to get rocking. Please look at the county's guidelines on how to do business safely during this whole COVID thing. And just really trying to be proactive in that 30,000 foot view, but unique business need functionality. So, I mean, we can't be everything to everyone, but we want to be something specific to each one of the businesses that we represent, which is really cool. I think the biggest thing that has been overarching through this entire crisis, if you will, has been our communication. It's a huge problem just in general with the massive misinformation that finds its way out there. It drives me nuts. So one of the things we've really focused in on is being that authority locally here that is giving the right information out to the business owners, because especially circling around the PPP program there was so many Google ads and things that went out that were just these predatory websites of people trying to capture this bad information. And I'm happy to say I don't feel like any of that was coming from the local area here. But that was probably one of the most important things that we've done to really be proactive in this. So.
And I'm glad that you guys are keeping an eye on all of these predatory practices and potential harmful companies that are targeting our community or local community, because it's important that we really try to support each other, but with legit resources. And now in an effort to help identify further resources and encourage our businesses to really take a more proactive approach into reopening, our governor today made a very important announcement. And so I want to get on to Scott and ask him, what can small businesses in the local South Cal area be doing to start preparing for reopening?
That Myke and I started talking about when this happened, when the pandemic broke out, the initial plan was, let's plan what it looks like when we go back to business. That was the original considerations we had was, we can't do a lot of good today, but we can definitely be prepared for things when they go back to normal. And so while things certainly aren't normal, there's a new environment that businesses need to adapt to. And one compliment I'd like to make both to the Veterans Chamber and the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber is the adaptive nature of their business, that they became an online force, that they figured out ways to bring large groups of people together and share information in a new way, but still kept everybody connected, which is why I don't like the word, I like the word physical distancing. I don't like social distancing, because I don't think we should ever be socially isolated. But I think you guys have done a great job on that. And I think that's been a key along the way. But our plan has always been, there's going to be a day when we get back to business. Things become challenging, but they don't stay that way forever. So another thing you'll find on our website is a business resource guide that we made that goes industry by industry and provides tips on best practices for getting open. What kind of safety procedures you should have for your customers, what kind of expectations they should have walking into your business, how you should be posting this kind of information. Myke drilled down a little bit on the back to business reopening kits that we're working on, our swag packs for businesses that are getting back to opening up. And we've been working in a partnership group with not just the city of Murrieta, but the Murrieta Public Library, the Murrieta Valley Unified School District, the software engineers group that works out of the Murrieta Innovation Center, and a handful of local businesses that went right to 3D printing to try to make masks and shields and ear guards for everything from our assisted living facilities to our hospitals to our safety personnel. And they've been doing this for free, and they've been doing this for months. So they were actually featured recently on the County of Riverside's daily program, and they showed a video about this. It's a really great program, and this is just one of many things that are happening around the community as we watch businesses refocus their efforts and change the way that they do business, much in the way that the chambers have, in order to fit into today's environment and meet the challenges. So being prepared, I think, is one of the most important things we can talk about right now. It is for restaurants. How are you going to reopen? If you have dine-in availability now, how are you going to do your spacing? How are you going to bring in your guests? What are you going to post for them at the door? What is your sanitation procedures going to look like? And how are you going to make it clear to the guests who are coming in who have concerns that you created an environment that is safe for them? One of the things the city of Murrieta did. Oh,
no, go ahead. Keep going.
One of the things the city of Murrieta did on the day that they announced the opening of dining and retail was we announced a new program for outdoor dining seating. So on the same day that they announced that we can have dining, we recognize that restaurants are going to have a challenge keeping all of their patrons inside because they're not going to have as much occupancy as they used to. So we came out with a program that allows them to use outside space to kind of take their customers that may have been dining inside and bring them outside in a safe way that allows them to serve as many people as they possibly can, but keep them physically distanced from one another. So no matter what industry you're in, we're looking at ways to try to enhance the experience so that you can perform your company and your business and your procedures, but do it in a safe way with any assistance that we can get from the city.
I appreciate that. And when you were talking, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, I was just celebrating because we have been able to pivot to our local community and really support local businesses to enhance their practices and also be able to reach in a new ways the market, the local market, and the communities. And with that being said, I'd like to take a little break. If you're just joining us, this is a Veterans Radio Show, and I'm your host, Laura Torres. We are on episode 5 talking with Scott Agjanian and Myke Munroe, Myke with a Y. I like to say that because it's just going to be fun to say that from now on with a Y. That's right. And Myke, it's from the city, the Chamber of Wildomar and Murrieta. And Scott is from the city of Murrieta. And so we're talking today about communities in action, getting back into best practices as we continue to transition through this COVID-19, and what is our local community in the South Cal area doing to support our veteran community as well as our small businesses. Now, Myke, I would like to get back to you. I know Scott mentioned a little bit about, educating our community, supporting with best practices and how to do online ordering and all those things. What about in your sector, in your community, through the chamber? What are some of the virtual options that you have been able to perhaps encourage or teach our small businesses about online orderings, virtual meetings? How have you pivoted your practices?
And I mean, it was a full 180 there, because the chamber historically is, big events with lots of people shaking hands and kissing babies, which are all things that we cannot do right now. So we had to really turn on a dime there. And I think there's a good point to bring up of that uncomfortability of pivoting sometimes. CEO of the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce, Patrick Ellis, is a prime example of that, because January and February, moving into that, it was like pulling teeth sometimes for him to get on and do the video updates, because he just wasn't comfortable doing it. Now you watch him, he's like a newscaster. It's insane. He's been quick with the updates. He's even done a few of them from his car. And I got to say, it's been tremendous to see his leadership through this trying time. But I think he is a great example of pivoting and turning on a dime and doing things that are uncomfortable to you because it's for the greater good, essentially. So as far as the online ordering and things of that nature, I know the restaurant community has really been hit some of the hardest. And for the pivot, what's crazy is that there's actually been a few restaurants that I'm working with currently that have become more profitable through this whole pandemic, because their overhead has gone way down from the things that they need within the dining room, as well as their staffing has gone way down too. So the community just tends to come out in force. And there's a few businesses that I know that have actually become more profitable through these online orders and the pickup and deliveries kind of thing. So if you're in a business that is considering online orders, whether it be retail and or restaurant, food, dining, any of that stuff, most POS systems or point of sale systems have the ability to integrate into your website. And for most of them, it's a really minimal fee. But I really think right now is the time to be brave and be different. And one thing I know about the veterans community is that courage is your badge of honor, right? So I know the veterans businesses have been incredibly courageous. I think Inland Wharf is another good testament on that. It's crazy seeing the difference in when I was talking to him in March, and I talked to Robert Durant yesterday, and it's like a whole different story. In fact, I'm going to stop by to say hi and pick up some cans tonight. But another good example of that too, and they're another example in the Back to Biz kits, is California Distilleries. They made, they did distilled spirits, and when this whole thing hit, they switched and are making hand sanitizer. They actually donated a ton of it to our Back to Business kits. So they have gone from being a distillery and a place for people to kind of congregate and hang out and so forth and whatnot, to being a hand sanitizer, not only distributor and manufacturer. So I think the biggest thing here is just don't be afraid to take a different look at your business. And more importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help and get a fresh set of eyes on your business. Because I think in all walks of life and in all elements of life, sometimes we get very myopic focused because we're so just trying to hang on and get through these things. But there's this beautiful community and just great business resources around you that are here to help you. All you got to do is ask. So.
That's right. And I appreciate it. And I heard that story about the local winery that pivot their messaging or the hand sanitizer, right? I was very proud to find out that was a local business. And I was like, yes, we're doing something to really, find a positive approach to continue on and stay in business, keep our individuals employed, and continue to grow and stay active. And so with that, Scott, I want to ask you, in your view, as we continue to transition, and again with the messaging today and everything else that is coming up, as we continue to get updated on a regular basis on new, what COVID-19 is looking like, what opening and reopening and all those different phases, what is something that you anticipate perhaps challenges the business might face, immediate challenges in the local level that we can sort of help and support our immediate businesses in the area?
So, I mean, the challenges are prevalent and they're out there everywhere. I was just speaking a little while before this about a study that just came out from the International Council of Shopping Centers, seeing that about $1.6 trillion in damages has been foisted upon the small business community, and 2 million of them are at risk. Unfortunately, there are going to be some businesses that don't make it through this. There are going to be some businesses that didn't either qualify for the funding that was out there or go after the funding was out there, or that the system just ignored them because it was overwhelmed and they didn't get their application through for some reason or another. So the challenges are everywhere. And for any business, even the ones that have reopened and are starting to come back to life a little bit, they're not getting the same foot traffic that they probably did before. There are going to be some industries that aren't immediately being utilized as well and as much as they were in the past. There are going to be challenges in every single industry for every single business. And there are some businesses that have met the challenges and found new ways to do business. And Myke was describing some of those. We actually have a city editorial piece that we do twice a week called Murrieta Pivots. And it is simply about companies that have adapted and changed in order to show that they can still be successful in this current climate. We just finished our 10th interview for those. And so there are a lot of businesses that have found new ways to thrive, but there's a lot of businesses that are still looking for how they can thrive and how they can renew themselves and bring their business back to where it was before. But the challenge of any downturn is that it usually doesn't come back overnight. Even if there was a vaccine tomorrow, the economy wouldn't be back to where it is tomorrow. It takes work and time and effort in order to bring our companies back to where they were. And so there is no panacea, there's no magic pill, there's no, one day it changes everything. But it's going to be a process of getting consumers to be comfortable with the shopping experience, for businesses to figure out how to provide a safe and healthy public experience. And it's going to take time for both of them to kind of meet that. And that doesn't just stop at retail. I mean, office environments are going to have challenges with figuring out how to have waiting rooms and how to bring customers in. Industrial is going to have a demand for space that they didn't have before in order to properly distance people. So it is across the board going to be a challenge for businesses, and it's how well businesses are being proactive and pre-planning and thinking about these things in advance that are going to help them get through the process as they move along. I wanted to make a quick side point on this, which is to say, at one time here, I had my mic muted while I was listening to Myke Munroe, Myke with a Y, and Mike Maples and Mike Fisher all had put a little announcement on the bottom of the board that they're watching this on Facebook. So we have the quadrology of mics all at one time. And I thought that there must be some kind of a meaning in this. It is the Myke show for sure. And there's Myke again.
And I was just thinking about it must be, there are definitely some kind of lucky star there for the city of Murrieta and Wildomar and all those entities to have those mics available. And now, Myke, I thank you, Scott, for that in sharing a little bit of what are some of the challenges that we definitely look forward to, working together with our small businesses and making sure that everyone is engaging and supporting and getting the resources that they need in order for them to get back in business. Now, with that being said, as you mentioned, Scott, there will be a lot of businesses that will not come back in business, a lot of business that will slowly start fading because of traffic. Myke, I want to ask you, what is currently the chamber doing in order for us to advocate and maybe perhaps identify policy that could help us, stay current and stay active and continue to proactively engage these businesses at the more state level and in the pilot, to make good policies moving forward?
Well, believe it or not, the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber, while it's the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber in name, works both at local level, county level, state level, and federal level. So on the local level, as you can tell, we have an absolutely tremendous a relationship with our cities out here. We actively attend all of the city council meetings to make sure that business is represented at the actual council meetings. But the moving into the county level, Patrick is actually on the COVID-19 Riverside County Economic Recovery Task Force. So our CEO, as well as a few other CEOs like Emily from the Temecula Chamber, physically have a seat at the table there and are making sure that business voices are being heard by the policymakers at the county level. Because with the state level, it's pretty clear that a lot of the decisions are going to be put at the county levels based on the numbers that they have, like the attestation. So it's really important that we have that seat at the table, because ultimately we can give that insight from a business owner's view in what the impact of some of these policies and protocols are going to physically be on the actual business community. And then moving into the federal level, believe it or not, the Save Small Business Coalition was actually started right here in partnership with Nancy from the Greater San Fernando Valley Chamber. We know her through the Western Association of Chamber Executives, which is this huge West Coast organization of chambers. And we all kind of work together to be the best possible champions for the business community. So through that ended up actually getting some steam. They partnered up with ICSC, or the International Council of Shopping Centers. And that thing has actually gone into the America's Recovery Fund, that is essentially similar to the post 9/11 recovery fund that was put into place. But it's there to help the business community on the federal level or on the national level too, because they're projecting greater than 100,000 businesses that are going to be closed forever, and 39 million Americans unemployed. So that's something that still just warms my heart to know that it actually was grassroots right here in Southwest Riverside County. And if the biggest thing, and you'll know that you'll get to know this as you get to know me, is I'm a big advocate just of policy and exercising this voice that you have as an American citizen, which unfortunately I think too few of us do on an active basis. But if you'd like to be a part of the American Recovery Fund, you can actually take action and send letters directly to Congress regarding this fund. And you can see that at it is right here. It is americasrecoveryfund.org/take-action. And on that page there, you can directly send the effects on your business directly to Congress as this recovery fund gets put in. So this is all COVID-19 specific, but pretty much any and everything that's policy related, it's extremely important for the chamber to be involved in those fields, because, especially with all the business owners that I talk to, it becomes really clear that they are so focused on their business. It is difficult, if not sometimes impossible, for them to really exercise their voice, because if they put all the policy in presenting to council and presenting to policymakers just in general could be a full-time job. So we're happy to take that on. So.
Absolutely. And so some of those small businesses that maybe have to restructure their business practices or have to take a time off in order for them to continue on to go through this transition as we recover all together, maybe perhaps that is a good call of action for them to get involved and advocate for others as well as themselves. And so with that being said, Myke, how can we get a hold of you, or Scott? I'm going to give you a chance to wrap it up a little bit here as we get closer to our time. And how can we get together? How can we get a hold of you, and how can we support you additionally in your business as well as our community overall?
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I think there are two best channels right now are Facebook. For some reason, this area just loves Facebook anyways. So make sure you check out our Facebook link. Again, both Heather, our communications director, and Patrick Ellis, our CEO, have been just amazing at getting this information out accurate and urgently. Also, check out our YouTube link, and you can find that through the Facebook link. I'm liking the dices that are going on there. And then the biggest thing is just search for the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce on Google. Ask for Myke Munroe, the membership in business development representative. I've lived in this community 31 years, so if I can't help you with something personally, I sure as heck know someone who can. And just feel free to reach out to me. I take a lot of pride in the communication that we have. And if you're considering joining the chamber, we actually have a veteran membership where you get any of our veteran members actually get priority listing in our directory. Because I mean, again, some gave some gave all kind of thing. So I want to do everything I can to be the best champion I possibly can be for the veterans community. And for me, the staff, the chamber, and every business that we represent here in Southwest Riverside County, I thank you all for your service. It means the world to us.
Thank you. I thank you for that. And yeah, definitely reach out to Myke with a Y. So when you call, make sure you ask for Myke with a Y, Myke Munroe from the Chamber of Commerce in Wildomar and Murrieta. So thank you. And now what about you, Scott? How can we get connected with you and continue to develop business and or support you in the local community?
Well, it's really my job to find you businesses, but if I haven't found you yet, my apologies. You can get a hold of me through the City of Murrieta website, which I believe that we've given the link to. And also there it is. The economic development pages has great information on it. If you were looking for resources or COVID response pieces, please look on there. And also the City of Murrieta Facebook page, which is constantly updated. We have a fantastic PIO, Robin Godfrey, who keeps all kinds of information coming out on there. And furthermore, I didn't give you this, but I'll say it now. Any business out there who needs help in the City of Murrieta, my phone number is 951-640-4161. It is 951-640-4161. That's my cell number. You can call me anytime. We are constantly here to help you. More than anything, we recognize that small business is the backbone of this city. It's what makes everything work. It's what gives parents the opportunity to work at home and stay at home and be with their kids and raise their families, put their kids in our safe schools and enjoy our safe streets. So we really want to reinforce that idea that we appreciate our small businesses and we're here to help you. I am here to help you anytime.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And of course, yes, make sure that you call if that's the best way to get a hold. Especially right now during this time, we have had so many virtual sort of format meetings and things of that nature. Sometimes it's a good way to just pick up the phone and make a good old fashioned phone call and reach out and Scott that way. Now, I want to give a chance to just very briefly wrap it up and see if you gentlemen would like to add anything out there that is immediate call of action or business matters that we can help and support. And I'll go with you, Myke. Is there anything you would like to add before we wrap it up?
Big thing, especially as we're moving into the reopening, make sure you check out on the website or on the Facebook page the U.S. Chamber's Ready to Reopen Playbook. The U.S. Chamber has just been absolutely stellar in giving these resources. They have some great materials on PPP forgiveness too, because that's going to be the next big hurdle that we jump. Because people got the PPP loans, and then they also have to be able to give the information back to get it forgiven. So make sure you're especially looking at that. That's going to be extremely crucial there. And with that, again, I thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity for being on the show here.
Thank you, Myke with a Y. So remember that. That's going to be on there on my mind forever, and I'm never going to forget your name at all, Myke Munroe. Now,
what about you, Scott? Branding here at the chamber, so
that's right, and we'll connect with you absolutely. What about you, Scott? What can we, add further to help you and support you? Any immediate call of actions on your behalf?
Okay, so first things first. Everyone out there, wherever you are, your small businesses have been hurt. They've been struggling. Please shop local. Please go to your local restaurant. Please go to your local retailer. Please support your local businesses in any way you can. I want to thank both of you for the advocacy that you do. Laura, for the veterans, the work that you and Joe and Myke do is fantastic. Just the fact that you guys are getting information out here and sharing it with the community has been fantastic. We've done some great events with you guys, and I appreciate the work that you're doing for our veteran community. Myke with the Y, the Chamber of Commerce, has always been a great community steward, but you guys have taken it to another level right now. So just continue to support your local businesses. Remember what they've been through, and if they have to charge you an extra couple bucks, if you can afford it, pay the extra couple bucks right now. Let's get our businesses back up on their feet. So thank you very much for the time.
Thank you so much for your time. And yes, that's right. Invest in our local community, because our local community is what really makes an impact. It's not just for ourselves, it's for our kids and the future. And to make sure that our community continues to thrive and make sure that they are, just growing and we move forward with a healthy growth. And I'm going to bring now back Joe, our CEO and founder, so that he can give us a quick wrap around and close us in. And Joe, what is going on and what is something that you would like to share and we should expect for the Veteran Chamber of Commerce side?
Well, I just want to kind of close with a huge thank you for our community, and I'm really grateful to be working with Scott, with Myke with a Y, and Patrick, and Heather. I mean, their staff at the chamber is just so amazing. I love them all. They love coffee. I love coffee. We always join coffee. So they're just amazing people to work with. And and one of the main things for businesses that we are also looking for bringing this to the next level is we want businesses, veteran-owned businesses, to actually also start moving towards contracts with cities. In Murrieta, the city of Murrieta, the city of Manatee are very, very supportive of veterans. But we want to take this to a bigger, stronger level and start giving our veteran-owned businesses more contracts, more opportunities to provide services. So we are working with Myke. We're working. There's Heather. We're working with Scott to bring this to the level of compliance, not compliance, but completion. So we have more veterans provide services to the local communities. I'm very honored to be working with Myke and with the MAC program, the Military Action Committee, and being able to connect the military bases to our chambers and to our cities. We do have the Vet Connect, which Myke and Scott, we discussed this before, where we connect the veterans across the nation. But bringing this at the local level is extremely important because it takes a coach to bring things to the nitty gritty, to bring things to the here and now. So we'll be working. So keep an eye on that as we will be working on getting the veterans who are transitioning out of the military and the spouses and their family into connecting with the local communities, with the local leaders. So I'm looking forward to bringing these transitioning members to meet with Scott, to meet with Myke, to meet with Patrick, and that way they get to know the local leaders. So I just wanted to give a huge, huge thank you for this leadership. It's a true honor to be working with you guys. I'm very thankful and pleased, and anything we can do to support in your stuff, please let us know. We're always game. So thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Laura,
Yes,
for hosting
absolutely.
the show. You're an amazing job.
Thank you so much, Joe. And I wanted to just real quick give it a big shout out to Michael Paul, who's joined us today. Thank you, Michael, and Michael Fisher. So it must be a Myke day today. So make sure that you take that under consideration when you go out there to buy your lotto tickets. Make sure that you map it out for a Myke wording. Yes. So I want to thank you, and Beth Richardson, for joining us. Also, thank you so much for that, for the support and for your comments. And go ahead, Myke, with a Y. Wrap us up.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. And that's all I got. Make sure you guys check out the Facebook though. The content there is just amazing, and it's up to the minute. I mean, I think Patrick might have been one of the first people to announce the attestation being approved just all together, and he did it from his car. It's just great content. Make sure you guys check that out. Thank you again. I cannot wait to get this MAC or the Military Affairs Committee even further into the community. Thanks for saying that, Joe. And just stay tuned. There's some great things to come. I know it's dark times, but there's a silver lining and a big bright light at the end of this tunnel. So
that's right. And like I always like to say, things sometimes happen for a reason. You cannot understand in that particular moment, but maybe take this opportunity to restructure your business mindset and your approach. And then you have some great opportunities out here through Myke and Scott for you to be able to then, connect and re-engage into a best business practices, as well as with the support with the Veteran Chamber of Commerce. We're here to support you. And we have been able to really pivot our messaging as well. And we have been able to reach out many communities across the U.S. So I want to brag about our services, and we have reached communities as far as Arizona. We are in Indiana, New York. I mean, you name it. We are really opening new chapters, and day to day, we are growing and connecting more veterans and military spouses and their kids. Anyone interested in connecting and being part of the Veteran Chamber, there it is. Become a member. It's free. Like Myke said earlier, it's absolutely free. And all you have to do is just submit your information and get connected and connect with us. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up. And so thank you so much for joining us. And this concludes our episode 5, Community in Actions, with Scott and Myke from the city of Murrieta and Wildomar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.